Hi guys, this is Jessica with the channel Dolores Serenity, and today we will be traveling through time together. Yes, back in time. But, you know, today we are visiting the Broad Street United Methodist Church. They gave me this packet. They were very helpful and wonderful people. I want to thank Bernie and Allan for helping bring me on a tour. They even brought me up to the Attic and the Steeples, and you can come with me if you stick around. So the Broad Street United Methodist Church has a lot of repairs to do. When I went up to the attic, you'll be going with me, there was a lot of beams that needed like reinforcing, and the steeples, they're in need of work and they're in need of donations. So if you're interested in donating to their cause, I'm going to leave a link down below and you can check that out and check them out. And so you had pigeons roosting in here?
Oh yeah, up in the steeple. Watch your head coming up here. This is painted red for a reason.
Okay.
And I have bumped it more than once. This is the short steeple on the north side here.
The short steeple here.
Yes. Joseph. The short steeple is Mary.
So Joseph's the one in need of repair.
Both need repair, but Joseph was the one that was in bad shape.
Okay, Joseph.
Very expensive.
Okay, very expensive Joseph.
Yeah.
All right. I'm coming. Just let me.
Sure. Looked like that.
So
and
when
if
it
you step
started.
off of the heavy boards, you'd break through a lath and plaster and sheet metal ceiling.
Oh
And
goodness.
if you're out the ways, you'd fall about 40 feet. I don't think you'd hardly bounce but one time when you hit the pews.
Goodness. It's pretty interesting though.
The contractor who's been working with this has been in approximately 4,000 churches that he's worked on. Between him and his father and now his sons. And he said that this is the first church that he's seen built like this. And he said what it really reminds you of is a large constructed.
A large open bay barn.
Mm-hmm.
It does look pretty open up here.
It is, yeah. What can I say? When we first started this, without this, the access was from this side, very unpleasant to come up, a lot of stepping. And to get to the other side, you walked across a steel beam under here,
A steel beam.
and everything was at like that.
Yeesh.
Therefore, nothing was seen over here except with if you had a flashlight. This access point wasn't here. Contractor added this, and this has been our preferred method of
So what do you, what,
access.
how, can you go that way? I'm
Oh,
not-
yes, yeah,
Okay.
if I unlock the door, we go there. Yeah. We had literally brickwork on both sides. That one in particular is first brickwork falling apart. Water comes down, leaks in, accumulates, it freezes, heaves it apart, from expansion.
Yeah.
Keeps doing that enough until bricks are coming apart. This
Goodness.
corner was doing just about the same.
This corner here?
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting because workmen were here, and I think they moved a brick or two here, and turned around to walk away, and there's a crash behind him, and area like that, bricks fell out.
Oh my goodness.
What isn't really considered is a steeple is a four-sided building unto itself. You've got the two walls over there, the one here, and it doesn't seem like this is a wall here, but it certainly is. It's braced up with that huge timber. So there are four walls surrounding it. This is the same over here. At this level, the walls on the side there at least are approximately 34 inches thick.
Oh wow.
A lot of brick. And they get less as they go up, but still. part of our problem on this was bottom plate on each of these trusses were rotten. Contractor and engineers came up with a method of tempering things with these boards that are bolted through.
Yeah, it looks like some new board and then a little bit old board there.
Yeah. So it's all the same thing. And this truss carries about 13,000 pounds.
Oh, wow.
These cables that are here weren't here before. Workmen put them in when they first came in and began working, and everybody's wearing a harness. And you clip onto that with
Oh,
the D-ring or
goodness.
the D-ring on your back. So if you fall, you don't go very far.
Goodness,
Everything is
yeah.
about safety. The next part of the restoration here is the roof. But the roof has to be fixed. If you look between trusses at the rafters are sagging somewhat. And as the rafters sag, it stretches the roofing so that the roofing cracks and you get a shorter life out of the roofing before it fails. So we have to do essentially all these cribbing blocks here and stiffen up the rafters under the sheathing material before we can begin re-roofing. Now what amazes me most about this, I don't know if we can find the pictures, I think of the workmen working on the steeple in I think 1874. The steeple is the highest, or was the highest structure in the county until cell towers were put in, and it's right around 190 feet. There are pictures of men working, and one of them standing on the top of the steeple, 2 or 3 behind him or around him on some small little platform, and somebody about a third of the way up the wooden part nailing on sheathing on that.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, and it's one of those things you look at that and say, this is pre-OSHA days.
Yeah, they would never allow you to do that now, right?
No. It's a real throwback to the old days to look at that picture. I don't know that there's anything in the church history about deaths while a building is being built, but I'm sure that X number of churches had Y number of deaths when they started getting up above.
Yeah,
Scary.
height limits.
This area over here, the Joseph steeple that had all the problems, has the bell.
Oh, it has
Now,
the bell.
plywood down there covers a hatch, and the hatch was so you get the bell up.
Interesting.
And the bell works, we've used it. All of the wooden material that's inside there was built for reinforcement. It was the 1931 storm that damaged the steeple, and engineers worked on this and came up with a way to stiffen the steeple, and that's what they used. Now we've added quite a bit to that in the form of repairing brickwork and fixing cracked areas in the masonry. In fact, up above, out in the open, the north side of this, there were places where you look at pictures and you realize there used to be bricks there. Now there's tar that somebody's put in.
Oh, no.
So it was past time to do something with it. There was some important work to be done. While it seems like it's expensive and almost replicative in some of the work that we're doing, one has to realize that this is on an entirely different scale than you'll find on people's homes. It's much more expensive, it's larger. The repair techniques and materials are different than what we'd use in our houses. And there aren't many contractors that do this anymore.
Because it's more
Therefore,
complex.
when you ask somebody about if you're bidding something, who's your competition, they can literally shrug and say, they're all dead.
Oh, goodness.
The one thing that I often tell people when they're up here looking at this, and then what you saw in the sanctuary, on one hand, the building itself, because of its age and all, is a sort of an albatross. How many people do you need in a congregation to be able to maintain the building? The other side is, how would you ever replicate the architecture or the materials today. He wouldn't. When it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, that's a shame. Because there's some beautiful architecture that,
Obsolete.
Yeah,
It isn't
gone.
afforded anymore. One of the things that we were asked, and we went ahead and asked the contractor, what would it cost us to take off the steeple and bring it way down low? And he ran some quick figures and he says, that's probably about $750,000.
oh goodness.
That was way more than what fixing it was. So of course the immediate questions we have are,
Okay,
"That's
so how
crazy.
much to
Just-
fix it?"
Just knock it down. No, we're occupying the building. We have a state highway out there called North Broad Street. There are parking lots both sides with pedestrian and vehicular traffic. If you tear the steeple down, you tear it down the same way as you put it up, one piece at a time coming down.
Oh my goodness.
So it's expensive.
Can I take a peek?
Sure, please do. If you wanted to go down that way, I could go down and unlock the door the other way.
I want like a good view from here. Let's see. There is a lot of beams in here.
Oh my. Oh my, there is. Beams. All of this structure that reinforced the steeple after the damage was undertaken. I haven't been up on top of the bells yet. My son has, but I haven't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make that climb, I think.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm not sure that any of us want to incur the liabilities.
Nah. But thank you. Thank you
Not
for...
a problem. I invite anyone who wants to come up here and look. I have no problem giving tours
Okay.
and answering whatever questions people have.
He's the best tour guide.
No, I'm the only one right now. By process of elimination.
Well, even so, you're the best one.
Thank you. These areas that are open with bricks, where it looks like it was unfinished, that's where scaffold planks went into. So they had a platform to stand to work off of.
They would need that, wouldn't they? Goodness. Yeah, I love old history.
Well, here's nigh on to a century and a half ago since it was built. And as the contractor worked on it said, if you look at the mortar that was used in this, it shouldn't be standing today because it doesn't have the strength of today's modern mortars. And yet the buildings that were built well in that era are still standing.
Testimony to the ingenuity of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, they were craftsmen. And that's not saying that people today building some big buildings aren't craftsmen, because they definitely are. They just have different materials and different building techniques. I think one thing that is never spoken or is seldom spoken of is the realization of how far up we are and how did all this material get up here? Some kind of a
Yeah,
place.
a lot of work.
Oh my.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
The nice lighting that's in here wasn't here. That's been added since.
Yeah.
We had pretty poor
Oh, that's
lighting.
right, all new lighting.
Yeah. You can see an awful lot now where
And it was old rafters, it was so dangerous, and now you have a platform.
well, yeah, that's a good point. And the entire change in this has been that it was out of sight, out of mind, intimidating and unsafe, so no one came up to look at it. Well, this is the necessary addition.
I remember over the years, my husband had been up here a number of times, and I always got scared because
Mhm.
Phil would come up, and John, and several of them would come up to check things out and clean out pigeon stuff.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Oh, it
All
was
that.
nasty.
Oh, but it was dangerous.
Yeah. Well, Phil Clement is the one that handles those chandeliers, and he has a windlass system for each of them that works over here. Sometime I really need to go see what he does. I've been a bit of a coward though. Partly because when you step on one of these planks over here, it goes down quite a ways.
Yeesh.
Phil said he was going to show a bunch of guys how to do things up here one time. He walked across the end and looked back. He said nobody was with him. They were all back here. And I thought to myself, I'd have been with them. I wouldn't have followed Phil. Now that'll all get replaced when we begin the new work. It'll be a sturdy
Sturdy
platform to walk
walkway.
across. But when you really think about it, right now, walking out there, all it takes is one strange false move and you're going to go down through the ceiling. And that's intimidating.
It is. Well, good thing you're building platforms and keeping
Absolutely.
people safer.
One thing I will mention, everything here is put together with screws. There are no nails. He didn't want to have the impact of a hammer driving a nail to do anything that might loosen up or dislodge bricks. Apparently he's been in other structures where that happened. Yeah,
Goodness.
scary.
It is. And I mean, they did a lot right there behind you. I
Yeah.
guess that's what screws as well.
And that's what's going to go on both sides. That's a lot of the expense is stiffening it up. I don't know if you can see it. Light isn't very bright. We've got a lot of sheathing that needs replacing. You know, it's rotten. If somebody's walking up and down on the outside, they loosened it. And on the other side, it's worse. So I guess the big thing that I have to say is the work that we've done in stabilizing this situation and looking at the rest of it is a testament to the toughness of the building and its ability to withstand all its age. Still be here.
It's a gorgeous building, too.
Yes, it is.
All right, well, thank you. I don't really want to keep you up here too much. It's a little warm.
Can you imagine working up here?
No.
Well, the converse is, can you imagine working here in the winter?
Yeah.
You could hang
Probably
a
gets
slab
pretty
of
cold.
beef in here and it'd be frozen solid in a few minutes.
Oh, no.
Cold.
I mean, yeah, you could see like a little bit of light shining through.
Oh, yep, and you know, some of that, you have to realize, is made for ventilation. And if you don't have some way to equalize pressure of inside and outside, in a high wind event, you can actually suck part of the roof off.
Ooh.
So that's done for a reason. Now, funny thing, I came in one time while the guys were working and asked them if there any leaks had been, and they said no, but one of them walked over and pointed down here and said, but it was snowing right down there, coming out of the vent.
It was snowing from the vent.
Yeah. It wasn't any big deal, but it was there.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Okay, I will go down right ahead of you if anything happens.
Okay.
So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode today. If you like this, like, subscribe. I would absolutely love to do more of these historical behind the scenes things that people don't normally get to see or view. If you have any suggestions or if you have any contacts that you can introduce me to do more of these videos for you, let me know. Leave a comment down below, like, subscribe if you liked it, and I'll see you next time.